It was only a matter of time before I put up a video essay on YouTube about movies. And like all serious film video essayists on YouTube, I have to speak about Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight Rises. I never planned on doing a review of The Dark Knight Rises, and in a way I'm still not, as this is more of an essay. Not to say that the film isn't outstanding. There were plenty of moments in the movie that had me stunned and whispering, "Oh no," to myself. But I didn't come out of the theater inspired to speak about it like I had been with other movies. Not because it didn't resonate in me, but there was nothing about the film which stuck out to me in a way that I thought would go unappreciated. I knew everyone was going to see the movie, and I was certain that people would recognize all the immense awesomeness in it. I could give my opinions on Christopher Nolan's adaptation of Bane, or how much I love Alfred. Can I hug you, Alfred? Just please? I just really want to give you a hug and tell you how great you are. But after seeing some other blogs and videos about the movie, I still feel there was something worth bringing up, an aspect of the film that almost a decade later is still underappreciated. And that is the entire point of the Dark Knight Trilogy. It seems Nolan picked a key word for each of his three films to use over and over, thematically. His cleverness comes in using this key word in a multitude of fashions to explore all the themes that this word can provide, and of course, tie it all into the Batman saga. In Batman Begins, it was fear. Bruce had to overcome his fear. Batman used fear as a tool. The Scarecrow exploited fear. The League of Shadows manufactured fear from a little flower and used fear as an instrument of destruction. It was Batman vs. Scarecrow, the two guys whose personae are all about fear. For The Dark Knight, obviously, it was night. Harvey Dent was the White Knight, Batman the Dark Knight. There was this play on words with the night being the darkest before the dawn and so on. It was all about Gotham's two knights. Now, for The Dark Knight Rises, you probably have a drinking game with how many times the word rise is used. A fire is rising in evil. Batman must rise again. Bruce must rise to meet the occasion. The people rise up. Bruce has to rise out of a pit while everyone chants rise at him.
What does that mean? Rise.
And all this rising sows confusion, because the audience has difficulty placing on where to put the emphasis. Being such a difficult and important obstacle for Bruce to overcome, it would make sense that the people would place the moment in the pit and prisoners yelling rise over and over as the pivotal moment of rising which the title suggests, especially when that chant is used as a majority of the film's score. But it's not. The primary moment takes place, as it did in the two previous films, in the last seconds of the movie, right before the title card comes up. It's the moment when John Blake discovers the Batcave, steps forward, and rises up as the new Batman. That is the moment when the Dark Knight rises. That's right, John Blake is the new Batman. In the Christopher Nolan movies, at least. Not Nightwing, not Robin. I know his legal name is Robin, but that was nothing more than Christopher Nolan just having fun. It's a nod. The franchise did it before with the Riddler and Zsasz in the two previous films, albeit in a much subtler way. And yes, John Blake's origin story is, in a way, an amalgamation of the Robinses, so there is reason to suggest he is in fact Nolan's version of the Boy Wonder. However, he can't be. When he found the Batcave, it was filled with bat stuff. Doing anything other than being Batman with it would just be a waste. Secondly, after becoming a caped crusader, Robin would never make his crime-fighting name his actual name. No one of intelligence would. And finally, while there are similarities to the Robins, including his name, he is still a different character. This guy is John Blake, an orphan who grew up to be a police officer and then Batman. Robin John Blake is charged with donning the cape and cowl to continue the Batman legend. Bruce Wayne left Blake with the coordinates of the cave so that he could provide him with the tools necessary to be Batman. He knew Blake would provide the rest. Bruce finally found someone he trusted with the Batman mantle, and in doing so, could pass it on. He finally could let go of being Batman and move on with his life, just as Alfred hoped he would. After all, that was the point. Bruce could not be Batman forever. The film clearly showed how his body was giving out, how his enterprise was waning, how everything that Bruce Wayne could give himself to in the name of Batman was wearing thin. If Batman would continue to live, he would have to do so without Bruce Wayne. Bruce was never meant to live up to the needs and expectations of Batman. He can't. The entire purpose of Batman was to allow Bruce to do more than he could as Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is just a man. An incredible, near superhuman, disciplined to his very core man, but still a man. Batman is something more. Once again, Nolan focused on a key element of Batman in each film. In Batman Begins, Bruce Wayne came to the idea of a symbol, one which wouldn't be ignored and couldn't be destroyed. Batman is indestructible and incorruptible.
A legend, Mr. Wayne.
In The Dark Knight, when Bruce Wayne is faced with the trouble of what to do to make things right, he has the faceless figure of Batman to make the difficult choice and suffer its consequences. Batman can endure.
He can be the outcast.
Now, 8 years later in The Dark Knight Rises, Alfred reminds Bruce of all of these qualities that Batman has that Bruce does not. Bruce can be destroyed. Bruce cannot endure. But he also reminds him of the one thing about Bruce which Batman cannot do. Only Bruce Wayne can be Bruce Wayne. Nolan suggests this in The Dark Knight when several citizens get their own capes and cowls to be wannabe Batman. Any person could play the role. It's just that only a very select few would actually do it well. And so far, it's just Bruce Wayne and John Blake. Bruce Wayne has finally moved on.
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
So now, it's up to John Blake. Batman continues. My only real criticism of this film is that moment where John Blake's true name is revealed to be Robin. It was cute, but it really muddled things up. Him suddenly being Robin distracted the audience from him actually being Batman. By which I mean the next Batman. Each of these four men in these fan posters are heroes of Gotham. Each in their own way contribute to the role of Batman and ensure his success. But even more, on their own, each of them are heroes. A businessman who holds together a company so that it may support charities to provide homes for orphans. A cop who isn't afraid to do what is necessary to protect others. A father figure who bears hatred and sacrifices his happiness for something more important. And a man who put a coat around a little boy's shoulders to let him know that the world hadn't ended. Because he fought for good and put himself in harm's way to do what needed to be done to ensure good, people believed Harvey Dent was Batman. So why not any of these four men? Given the opportunity, they each would rise to an occasion. And as it turns out, one of those occasions was being Batman. So that was a video essay. I hope you liked it. If you want to see more video essays on film, please let me know. I would love to do them. I've got other thoughts about other movies. If you didn't enjoy it and would rather I do anything else, don't worry. I've got lots of those planned too. And if you liked the video, but not all that much because you think the entire thing could have been improved if I'd done it in a Bane voice, I don't know. I just think that's kind of overdone at this point.
Like and subscribe.